Executive order to freeze federal grant funding rescinded by President Trump today, just a day after a federal judge blocked that order. The president's plan to block the funding caused chaos and confusion for groups across the country, including right here in Memphis. Action News 5's Amani Williams spoke to two groups who are excited, Amani, about today's development.
Joy, this actually happened in the middle of my interview with the executive director for Hill 901, a nonprofit that works on violence prevention here in Memphis. Now, he said his team is now working on plans to add more funding options to prevent panic if federal funding order comes down again.
I always like to say, what would happen if the YWCA was not here?
Leaders of nonprofits across America all asking the same question. Wednesday, President Donald Trump rescinded his executive order to pause federal funding to nonprofits, a day after a federal judge blocked that order. YWCA and Hill 901, just two of the hundreds of nonprofits that provide resources in Memphis. YWCA executive director said before the order was even written, they were already dealing with funding cuts.
Even if this does not happen at all, and the grants keeps coming in, well, with the other possible up to 30 to 40% cut, that's half of our shelter staff.
Now that the order is rescinded, leaders are working to continue to provide critical resources to the community outside of using federal dollars.
We see the impact and we appreciate the halt and the rescinding of this. Now it's time to take those next steps to make sure that if this does happen in the future, that the support is here locally.
The trillions of dollars that were at stake across the country gave a broader look at how important nonprofits are to vulnerable communities.
I think what we saw take place recently was finding out how vital the nonprofit sector is to the fabric of Americans. Just understanding that we fulfill a lot of roles that government just can't.
Now, Mayor Paul Young said there were no services immediately impacted by that possible federal freeze. Now, he did say if that freeze would have happened for an extended period of time, then it would have presented some challenges for the city. Live in studio, Imani Williams, Action News 5.